do this, man. Alright, so we're finding roots, which is kind of like finding Dory. Okay? So it may seem all confused a little bit right now, but we'll clear it up and then you and Nemo can go swimming all you want. Okay? So, a good warm up here. This is from early last week. Please find me the list of all the possible zeros to start, and then find me a zero of that function. Okay? Go for it. Oops, that's really good. Look and see it. Gotta stay consistent with colors. Factors of 3, 1, and 3. Factors of 2, 1, and 2. So my list, the first one of it, so my list of all possible rational zeros would be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 1/2, plus or minus 3/2. That would be my list. Okay? From that list, did anybody find one that worked? What do you got, Dave? -1. All right, so let's on this side. So let's do -1, she says. So it's 2, -5, -4, and 3. 2, -2, -7, 7, 3, -3, and 0. Yes, we got one there. Fantastic. So f of x would now be x plus 1 times 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Is that factorable? Yeah? -6x, -x gets me -7x plus 3, 2x. Yep. So that would be full factored form right there. And then x plus 1 equals 0 gives us that x equals -1 that you guys found before. 2x minus 1 equals 0, so 2x equals 1. So x equals 1/2 would have been another one. X minus 3 equals 0 is x equals 3. So the other half of the answer would be -1, 1/2, and positive. Yes? Yeah? Love this stuff. Just giving you an equation and having you go solve it. Real math. Totes cool. Yeah? So, the steps that we have to do in order to find a 0. So first off, we're going to find the possible rational zeros by dividing the factors of p by the factors of q. So that's going to be the last number divided by the first number. Okay? Then we're going to use synthetic division to divide out, figure out a 0. Okay? Which so far we've been guessing and checking. Today I'm going to show you on a graphing calculator or on Desmos, because we all have access to Desmos. I'm going to show you a shortcut for that to help you find some. Okay? And then lastly, we factor and factor and factor until we find all the, or use the quadratic formula to find the remaining zeros. Okay? And we got to show that word. Okay? Which, if we go back here, that would be like the purple. The purpleness would be showing the word. Okay? So that's all from Thursday. Okay? So let's kick it up a notch and let's find all the real zeros of this one. Okay? 2x to the 4th plus 5x cubed minus 18x squared minus 19x plus 42. Okay? Now, if I were to do my list of rational zeros, so 42 would have in it 1, 2, 3, not 4, not 5, 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. 2 have 1 and 2. So my list here that I'd have to try from would be all of those red ones, and 1/2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, got it. 3 halves. 6 divided by 2 is 3, got it. 7 halves. 21 halves. So we got a big long list. Okay? Now, we can narrow that down by using oops, come on back to me now. Okay? So if you go on Google and if you just type in Desmos, okay, it'll take you to there we go. Desmos.com. Beautiful free math. And you can use this graphing calculator. Okay? Now, when you go to type it in, 2x to the 4th power plus 5x to the 3rd power minus 18x squared minus 19x plus 42, what it's going to do is it's going to give you a graph. And it's going to tell you what the 4, so that one's not a good one to choose because it's a decimal. Okay, and it wasn't on our list. This one, hey, that's a good one to choose. So -2 is going to be a 0. Okay? Next one over. 1.5, that's going to be a 0. Okay, that's 3 halves, that's on our list. And that one's not a good one to choose because it's right there. Okay? So let me minimize this and bring this back into. I have here is I I did it on the graphing calculator. Okay? And so we said that this one right here was -2, and this one right there was 3/2. Okay? And both of those show up on my list. There and there. So those are good ones to try. Okay? So let's do this. Let's do -2 first. Two, 5, -18, -19, and 42. Two, that's -4, 1, that's -2, -20, +40, is 21, -42 is 0. Right? Okay? Then, right from that, I'm also going to do 3/2 right on that same one, or on that new result. 2. 3/2 times 2 is 3. That's 4. 3/2 times 4 is 6. -14 times 3/2 is -21. Okay? So my original function, f of x, now becomes, based off of this one here, based off of that -2, that becomes an x plus 2 right there. Based off of this 3/2, that becomes an x minus 3/2. And then I've got this blue thing right here. We chopped it, we took out 2 zeros, so that means it started out as a to the 4th. So then that's going to be 2x squared because I took out 2 zeros, plus 4x minus 14. Oops. And now I got to look at that blue trinomial, and I got to see if I can factor it. Well, I can for sure factor out a 2. Are there two numbers that multiply together to be -7 and add to be 2? No. And we actually knew that from the original one because it was a funky decimal. Okay, so we knew that that one wasn't going to be so nice and pretty. Okay, so the fully factored version of f would be 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 3/2 times x squared plus 2x minus 7. Both of those we got off of our graph. This one's not factorable, so we got to use quadratic formula on it. negative 2 plus minus square root of 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 7 all over 2. 4 times 1 times negative 7 is negative 28. 4 minus negative 28 is positive 32. Square root of 32 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. So that's 4 square roots of 2. Bunny ears. For simplification, and so then that's going to be negative 1 plus minus 2 square roots of 2. So my 4 zeros, or all of my zeros, are negative 2, 3 halves, and negative 1 plus minus 2 square roots of 2. The graph is nice because you don't have to trial and error it. But if you don't want to have your Chromebook out, or I think you can even get Desmos on your phones. I think you can go there. Yeah? On your phones. It's a little small, but should still be able. I don't know how you can type it in. That's the only thing. Okay? You try this one now. Find me the factored form and all the zeros of that one. While you guys are working, I'll just let you know what's happening this week and what's coming up ahead next week. So this week we're going to wrap up Unit 3. We're going to do a lot of this kind of a thing this week. We'll work in reverse tomorrow. There'll be a quick video tomorrow about going in reverse. And then we'll, Wednesday we'll have some kind of wrap-up type problems. Thursday is going to be the main review day. Okay? So we'll have a bunch of examples. I already got a bunch of examples ready to go for Thursday. Next week, Monday, is going to be question and answer. Make sure you're ready for the test day, because then the only thing that you have to do next week then is the chapter test, the review assignment and the test. But you'll get the review assignment. Actually, the review assignment's already on its learning under this week's. So, okay. Now this test will close on Sunday the 29th at 11:59 p.m. And it will close. So if you don't have it done, you don't get to take it. Okay? All right? So make sure that you book some time, book like an hour sometime next week when you only have school Monday and Tuesday to take the test. Okay? All right, so I would, on this one, I would graph it, and I would see that, oh, okay, I've got a 0 right here at -1. And I've got a 0 at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I've got 2 zeros in this one off of the graph, and we could do that off of Desmos too if you wanted. Okay. So let's try -1 first. Since it told me I didn't have to do a list, that's fine.
But my list would have been short on this one. It should have only been plus or minus 1, plus or minus 5, and plus or minus 25.
So 1, 0, negative 16, negative 40, and negative 25. Kicker on this one was that 0 placeholder. 1, negative 1, negative 1, 1, negative 15, positive 15, negative 25, and 25. Okay, so that one worked. Then we can do 5 right away. One, 5, 4, 20, 5, 25, and 0. So F then gets factored into x plus 1, x minus 5, and x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay. And I know from looking at my graph that those aren't going to be real because it doesn't cross. It only crosses twice. Okay? It doesn't cross 4 times, so I know that those aren't going to be real. So I know that that is my factored form. So my factored form, the first question was x plus 1, x minus 5, and that. Huh? So then x plus 1 equals 0 is going to give me x equals negative 1. X minus 5 equals 0 is going to give me x equals 5. And it's just this x squared plus 4x plus 5 that I've got to do a little quadratic formula on. So x is going to equal negative 4 plus minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 plus minus 4 times 1 times 5 is 20. 16 minus 20 is negative 4. The square root of negative 4 is 2i. Both can be divided by 2. So my 4 zeros are negative 1, positive 5, and negative 2 plus I, and negative 2 minus I. Yes? Yeah? Everybody good in the room? Online, everybody good with that? All one person that has their camera on? Oh, there we go. Now we're popping in. Thanks, Allie. Okay, good with that. That's really fun. That's all I got for you today. In the room, I've got hard copies of the review worksheet and this week's worksheet. So the next 2 weeks worth of worksheets I've got for you guys to start. Onliners, everything's posted on this week's content page. You can go on there
and you can find this week's worksheet and the review worksheet. I would start with this week's worksheet first, and then go from there. Okay? That's all I got for you. Thanks for playing along. Have yourselves a great, grand, and wonderful day.